presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Brazilian music, all of it. Dominican music, Spanish drums, all the music is African music. So, you know, you getting on the Afro beat now. I've been in Africa. They've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It ain't new. All the music is African. You know what I'm saying? But you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even in Puerto Rico, when you go to Caribbean, like let's speak about Latinos not being black. Latinos are black. In Cuba at one time, there was 8 million Cubans. 5 million, unfortunately, were slaves. 3 million were actual Cubans. And they integrated and had babies. Same thing with Puerto Rico when you go to Loíza. And when you talk about Santeria, that came from the motherland, Africa. You know, sometimes Latinos might even identify themselves with African and black culture more than black people. This ain't no crazy thing. Fat Joe ain't on crack. You know what he's talking about. It's African. Brazilian music, all of it. Dominican music, Spanish drums, all the music is African music. So, you know, you getting on the Afro beat now. I've been in Africa. They've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It ain't new. All the music is African. You know what I'm saying? But you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even in Puerto Rico, when you go to Caribbean, like let's speak about Latinos not being black. Latinos are black. In Cuba at one time, there was 8 million Cubans. 5 million, unfortunately, were slaves. 3 million were actual Cubans. And they integrated and had babies. Same thing with Puerto Rico when you go to Loíza. And when you talk about Santeria, that came from the motherland, Africa. You know, sometimes Latinos might even identify themselves.
Right now, shout out to Ghost. Nigga, what? Fat Joe's wildin'. Listen, man. You know, I used to talk about subjects like this on my old channel. And those of y'all who've pretty much followed me since, you know, back in maybe 2008 making videos, you know, I made a hot video. Like this is one of my videos that actually took me to the roof, right? One of them. Not the one, but one of them. But those of y'all remember a video called She Thinks She Ain't Black? And when I was talking about at the time, you know, growing up, I was talking about Latinos and Latinas and how they didn't identify themselves as being black, but they were trying to imitate black culture and also wearing Jordans, you know, fitted hats, throwbacks, the jewelry and stuff. They wanted to adapt to black culture. Okay. So at one time, you know, whites used to say, oh, you know, what the hell? You white. Get the hell out of here. Back then, if you ever called a Puerto Rican a white person, they'll get pissed off. They'll get mad. I'm not white. I'm Puerto Rican. And even Italian people. Some people say, I'm not white, I'm Italian. They used to get mad at the time. But I never really thought of the negative stigma behind labeling somebody of a race. Just think of it. Back then, it was like, if you were told you were a white boy, you were corny. Had no style. You were played out. You were whack, right? Now, if you refer to Latinos as white, they don't get offended. But if you refer to them as being black, they get really offended. At least to the ones I've come across. I'm not saying all. This is why I don't really like touching on this subject when it comes down to Latinos or Latino culture. Because it's like, just being all honest here. When you try to respectfully have an opinion or even some life experiences dealing with the culture. Because you're not of that culture, you can't speak for that culture. And I understand that because, black people can be the same way too in certain aspects. But I've grew up around a lot of Latinos, especially in the Bronx, to know that a lot of them are niggas. This is why sometimes in certain areas that you go to, you got certain Latinos that represent what? Mexico. I mean, not Mexico, but California. Is it called the Aztecs with the Mierdas, what do they call them? The Magos. And then you got a little bit of El Salvadorian over there. See, New York, now they're starting to get a heavy population of Mexicans up there. Shit is high up there. I mean, back then, growing up, there was nothing more. On my block was a lot of Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans. So when you see Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans mixed up with each other, it was like a normal thing. It's normal because that's all you saw around you was Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans over there on the East Side Bronx, where I used to stay at. And now you got a lot of Dominicans over there now. So if you're over there, you could be easily claimed for being one of them because the high population of Dominicans is crazy in Bronx. So, it's right there. But listen, man. This is really confusing for blacks in a way. I'm going to tell you why a lot of blacks are confused. A lot of black people could be confused, right? It's because we told 1 minute that you black. And then the next minute we're told you're not black. So I can understand the whole confusion in black people culture. Because we're thinking to ourselves, well, okay. Then what do you consider yourself as? Latino. Okay, so is Latino a color? Just think about it. We identify people's color by the race, right? Not really by the nationality. Because if somebody's, okay, we see somebody like Fat Joe. Oh, he's white because he has white skin, right? But it seems that Fat Joe, did I say Joe Butters? Oh, shit, I fucked up. Fat Joe kind of seems like he considers himself more of Afro Latino. Well, I'm African. And he embraces that shit because he's surrounded by a lot of urban, suburban black people in New York and also Latinos. So it's a different type of culture compared to California Latinos and Florida Latinos and Latinos in different areas. I get it. Because some Latinos will feel offended by what Fat Joe is saying. And some will say, no, I am not black. Some will say I'm white. Even there's some dark-skinned Dominicans that will consider themselves as being white. Believe it or not. And you're scratching your head like, really? But you fuck them up when you say, well, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. When you say, okay, well, is Dominican a color? What color does Dominican look like? You fuck them up like that. You're like, well, what color is Puerto Rico? Because last time I've been to Puerto Rico, I've seen all types of nationalities, different nationalities. And one thing Fat Joe is right on. He's been to Africa. He's been around the world. He's traveled around the world that not even a lot of blacks or a lot of Latinos are able to do. So Fat Joe has an open mindset on what culture is all about. Once you get a mindset of traveling everywhere around the world, you have a great idea of what culture is. I haven't yet traveled around the whole world, but I still have a mindset of what culture is. Sometimes you have to leave the box in order for you to see what's outside of it. Fat Joe is just one of those, I'm an open-minded person, and I'm not brainwashed like a lot of you motherfuckers are. And I get it. But see, I can't say things like that. And a black person can't say stuff that's related to Afro-Latino issues or Latina issues because we're not Latino. But you guys have African descent in you. And I get it. It's confusing as fuck. Because it's like you don't know if you want to chill with these motherfuckers or you don't know if they actually hate you. But let me tell you something. There's a hand portion of them that are racist as shit. I've experienced it. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of black people have too. Rather you're a man or woman. Yes, I have in those bodega spots. I didn't get it as much living in New York, but now even being in the South, I'm starting to see a culture shift. I'm starting to see they're starting to, and this is not me disrespecting Latinos at all. I'm just speaking based on my experience as a black man. Just my experience, just dealing with the Eurocentric type of Latinos. I think that when you refer them to being black, and the reason why they get offended when you use the word black, just think of it. The word black is a negative stigma. When you think of black, you think of negative. Like, look at the battery in your car. You got the red that's positive and the black that's negative. Just think of it. So when you have a mindset of a group of people just being negative, that's all you're going to think and perceive people as being as negative. Due to people in either family that tells you about certain type of people to stay away from. And I get it. I understand. I get it. But at the same time, it's a mindset of division. Because look at it right now within the Latino community. I'm just looking from the outside in. I can't speak on it. But to black people outside, you see, the thing with the black culture is we look at each other as being one, no matter where you're from. If you're black, you're Trinidadian, you're black. You're Jamaican, you're black. You're Panamanian, you're black. You're Brazilian, you're black. You know what I'm saying? We look at it as one. What I'm seeing in the Latino culture right now, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I could be wrong, but this is just what I see. It's just based on my observation and my opinion. So I'm not saying this is how the culture is, but I'm just speaking just based on my observation and what I see. I see more of a division within the culture than I do within the African culture. As in African Americans or African Africans, or if you notice that with black people, when we say we black, it don't matter. We black. Oh, Jamaican. Oh, you black, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, you Cuban, man. Nigga, you got nappy hair. You black. Like, that's how we saw it as, because we saw it as one people. But I've noticed that within the Latin community, first of all, they don't do the one blood drop rule. We know that, as I'm just displaying it right now. But what I'm saying is, they're causing division within each other. My lady is straight from the island, straight from DR. And she's telling me that there's a lot of politics and a lot of favoritism going on in that country. So they got their own type of fucking racism going on over there. Shit is crazy. I don't know too much on it, but I'm just going by what I've been feeding. And I was like, holy shit. My friend is Puerto Rican. And he told me that part of his family disowned the dark Puerto Ricans in his family. Oh, my grandmother didn't want them at our dinner table because they were too dark-skinned. Like, this shit is real, man. Like, listen, man. Yo, get them thumbs up, by the way, man. I got 6 people watching, man. I know I got some hardcore subscribers in here, man, that's supporting your boy. Get them thumbs up. My phone is ringing like a motherfucker, man. I'm gonna let that shit ring. Fuck them niggas. Anyways, man. The truth of the matter is this, man. Here's the whole deal. From what I see within the Latin culture over here, from what I see, not from the actual country itself or the country that they're from, the Latin people in this country, and even the ones that come from a different part of their country over here, I don't know But I just see like a very culture division shit going on within that community. And for some reason, I think it's going to get worse. Because you got some that are saying they identify themselves as being black, and there's some that identify themselves as being white, and then there's some that disagree with you're not. Other pure Latinos, like the 100% but equal, as they say, right? They would think that the New Yorkers are, they're sellouts, they're not real Puerto Ricans and stuff. Like, this is the stuff that my boy's telling me. And that shit is crazy. Like, I didn't think there was so much division within the Latin community. It's sad, man. Like, it really is fucking sad that I know as black people, we had our issues. We had our dark skin, light skin, or I'm not chill. Oh, because you favorite because you're light skin. That's the most stupidest shit to ever argue with. Because at the end of the day, we realize we in the same motherfucking struggle. We black people. The fuck? The fuck we fighting over who's lighter and who's darker? Get the fuck out of here. At the end of the day, there's people up above us just laughing at our asses. Just laughing at every one of us for doing stupid shit. So I understand and I get where Fat Joe was coming from. I'm about to say Joe Buttons again. Damn. Where Fat Joe was coming from. I get it from that perspective. But not too many Latinos were happy with what he said. And they were pretty pissed off. And I can understand why they would be mad at him. But I can understand why they agree with him as well. Because you got some portions that that they believe they are not black and they don't have any black ancestries in them. And then you got some that do. And some of us will get a perception of, oh, damn, that's like a negative stigma where you're not proud of being black or you're not proud of your Afro roots. But here's the thing. Some understand and they know they have black ancestries in them. But like I said, the whole word black is negative. So nobody wants to be misconstrued or being adapted to black. Because I think what it is too also, I think they perceive black as being African American. I don't know if it's just me or you, but I know that there is a problem with some of them with African Americans. I don't know. I don't know where the hate, the stigma comes from. But then again, I'm kind of giving my second guesses here that the negative stigma that they get on Telemundo from what they see or what they perceive of black people as being negative. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow. But listen, I'm a very open-minded, universal person. And I applaud my friend for coming at me with this knowledge and letting me know. But I've also experienced this, and I've seen it. But he said to me that he grew up not liking black people. He didn't know why, but he just didn't like black people because of what his parents have said. I'm not calling his parents liars, but his parents also read into media. So whatever they perceive that's on media, mainstream TV, is what they're going to perceive you as. I mean, it's no different from Caucasians. White people do the same thing. They think every black person's the same, It's crazy. But what are you going to do? You can't do shit. We got 7 people watching. Get them thumbs up. But this is why I don't really like touching on the subject of other races of people. I don't do this anymore. And because I look at it like this. I've got my own problems. I'm here for like a man's channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to uplift us as people, as men, And if women want to stay in tune, that's cool. That's fine. I don't care. I don't mind. I'm a universal person. But listen, man. I can't touch on something that I'm not a part of or never got involved with. And there's no disrespect, but I'm going to say it like this. They got their own problems. We got our own problems. But if they want to share our problems to us, hey, we'll give you our opinions. But we ain't stepping in this motherfucker. No, no, no. Just think of it. when blacks had problems, and this is no disrespect, but I've only saw black people standing up for black people's problems. I didn't see Latinos representing black people's problems. And the same could be vice versa. It's because the culture is different. We know that. But we could all have a common share of denominator. Is that we are all human beings. We all have feelings and we all should be respected. I think that's something that even racist people and everybody can actually, well, agree with.